I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks.
It's our first time meeting in person,
Yes.
but I've already found out that she's an Enneagram 8. So I feel like I just attract them.
Same.
And at this point, they're probably like, Brittany, shut the fuck up. Like, we get it. You're an 8. But whenever I meet another one, I'm like,
for an 8 though, like to like scream it from the rooftops.
so many of my sentences start with, well, I'm an 8, so this is just how I do things. And now my friends are starting to talk like that. They're like, that's such an 8 thing of you to do. And they're like, they have this like hyper awareness of it now. And I feel like I'm creating a problem, really. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of it all. But I think it's good to have that self-awareness, you know?
For sure. I think it's kind of like the zodiac signs too. It's like,
oh,
it's not really my fault that I'm like this.
Maybe like a toxic way to look at it. Like,
also Enneagram 8 right there.
Exactly. I love it. So we're just diving right in. Stephanie, I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We also, I think we should just kind of get right to what the people want as well, because it's been circulating social media that you're selling your business.
I am.
And I think from what I've gathered, and again, like, this is our first time meeting, so I don't know too much about the situation. I have seen you everywhere and with your clothing in the boutique. So I think it came off as a shock probably to many people.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, one, what your business is, and then 2, what's going on now.
So I started Maverick the Collection in 2018, literally in my garage. And it started out as an MLM. I had this vision of creating a business that was different than all the other MLMs out there. I was sick of the negative connotation associated with the MLM world. And I was on a mission, like an Enneagram 8, to change and the injustice and the negativity that was around it. So I really started the company with this desire to be different and to show women how they truly can make money selling clothes. And it's not a pyramid scheme. And we're there to support each other.
Okay.
So that was in 2018. We launched, up until 2023, we had just under 400 stylists selling the clothes. I was producing clothes. We had a 15,000 square foot warehouse in LA. We did leader trips. We did incentive trips. I had a whole compensation plan that was created for us.
How the fuck did you do all that?
I literally don't know.
Like you're stressing me out. Just like thinking of creating all of that, like on your own. Did you have help or did you just like do it by yourself?
I literally did it myself. Like I sat in my garage. I told my story a while ago and people were same reaction. They were like, but how did you do this? Did you go to school for this? And I was like, no, I went to school for marketing and like hung out with my friends in college. Like, no.
Yeah.
I literally sat in my garage and I just dove in and I found all the best people and I found a compensation plan creator that resonated with me. I found a technology person that I fell in love with. Not literally, but like loved his vibe and just like what he was about. And then I just started, putting myself out there. I knew nothing. Like I knew nothing. And I dove in like just head first and found out all the information. And then over the years, it evolved. Like I found better clothing designers. I found, other business consultants that helped me when I said, okay, like we have all these people now. What do I do? Like, what's the best way to, compensate them and all the, the inner workings. So it evolved. In 2023 though, I decided to close that down. And the question I get all the time is, but like, why? You built something, you put your like heart and soul into it. And my only explanation is that it just didn't feel like it was fulfilling me anymore. It felt like the responsibility, the pressure. I mean, having 400 women that rely on you and like, you can't take a day off.
How did you get it to that many? What was your marketing plan to get it out there to that many women? Like, how did it start? Was it then like, everyone's referring their friends at that point? But like, how did you get the first group?
So I used to sell LuLaRoe, which I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah.
I know, real controversial
there. Okay.
So I sold for them from 2015 to 2017. And
did you see a lot of crazy shit?
I did.
Was that the peak of when everything was like
Like I was like part of the peak, I feel like I wasn't one of the like top 100, but I was up there. Like I was featured in the documentary that was on.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, it's a very small clip, but I'm there.
I'm going to go rewatch that now. Please tell me what clip, because that's pretty cool.
You actually can't really recognize me because the clip they used was from a photo shoot that they flew me out to do in LA, and they made me look absolutely horrendous, and like it didn't even look like me, but that was the clip that they featured.
Of course it was.
I was like,
of course that's what would happen to me.
Like that's the one
like,
you just featured.
It's like the pictures that your husband takes of you. Like that's what they're gonna feature. Like those are the worst fucking pictures of me ever to exist. And it's just, I feel like my brain is already exploding. Like I have so many questions. I don't even know where to start.
We didn't even get to the
like
closing
we didn't even
of the
get to the
boutique
closing
yet.
of the business, and I'm already like, oh my God, LuLaRoe, oh my God, drama. Okay, so we'll start with, we're gonna make them wait a little bit. Then we're gonna build a little bit of the suspense. So I want to ask you first, because I know a lot of people are gonna think this. You know, with the negative connotation of MLM, right? Especially in comparison to a LuLaRoe. A lot of people shit on them. I know a lot of people locally have had bad experiences with some MLMs. So what would you say to someone that has that view and is like, MLMs are a scam, it's all a pyramid scheme? How did you set yourself apart, and how do you see it in a positive light so that maybe people can understand they're not all that way?
So I feel like that whole like thought process is so like 2015. Like,
Okay.
I just feel like, yes, there were some bad companies out there, LuLaRoe being kind of one of them, even though I've literally never spoke bad about them because they did great things for me. The owners were amazing to me. The experience I gained was amazing. I just feel like there are certain aspects of companies that had set that tone. Like with LuLaRoe, the whole reason they, you know, had such a bad rap was because they were paying their consultants based on bonuses from their team's personal buying inventory.
Yeah.
And
that's what screwed them.
Right.
Because everyone was stuck with all these clothes.
Right. And you would have the mindset of like, I have to keep purchasing because I need to.
Instead of selling.
Right. Like it wasn't based around the selling.
Yeah.
Granted, I knew how to make a business work. And when I was selling LuLaRoe, I never pushed like my team to continue to buy. I was like, just get out there and sell, get out into the community. Sales will come. You will have to obviously replenish your inventory, but focus on the sales. So when all that happened with LuLaRoe, I was like, I love this whole world. I don't like what I'm associated with right now. I don't like this. Let me go and create my own, take the good aspects of that business, leave the bad ones away, and just highlight and focus on the good stuff.
Was anyone a dick to you because you were in LuLaRoe? Like, did anyone like,
yeah.
especially when it all came out, were they like,
oh yeah. When I started Maverick, it took about 2 years before, like, I used to call them the like MLM trolls on like YouTube and like on Instagram, until they heard about me. And then they heard about me and they did a whole like 9-segment feature on me.
hey,
I'm like, first of all, like,
you ain't made it till you got some haters.
Literally. So
that's pretty cool. What?
I found out about the YouTube video from my son, who literally was
It's like this poor kid is like watching like Minecraft, and he's like, fuck, that's my mom.
Literally what happened. I'm not even exaggerating. He was on his freaking thing watching YouTube, and he was like, it was my oldest son, and he's like the biggest, sweetest teddy bear ever. And he was like so scared to show me, but he was like,
God.
Mom, I think this is about you.
That's crazy.
And then I was like, I'm gonna.
What did you do? As an
kill these
8,
people.
as an 8, you would literally, that's a thing. Literally killed them.
They don't live anymore. Just kidding. Didn't kill anyone.
So yeah, what'd you do? Did you talk to them? Did you like get it taken down?
Yes, of course. And
so you reached out to them
100%
and said what?
Like, you're
What the
lying.
fuck?
Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like,
and it's like the fact that they have all this time on their hands for what? And then how did they respond? Did they even respond to you?
Oh yeah, then it was like fuel to the fire. Then they like used my voice memos, and then they used my like email, and then they used the attorney
to say like you're crazy. And oh my God.
Oh no, it was bad. And then of course I should have just let it go, and I should have let my attorney handle it. But like, being the Enneagram main, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I did like a video, like, just saying like, hey, just so you guys know, like, this is out here. Every single thing that they're saying is a lie. Everything's not true. Here's the truth. And
and that's the way you have to do it.
Prove
I feel
myself. I'm totally sidetracked. What was I talking about? What were we going to?
I love you already though. Wait. So we were saying, oh yeah. So how did you set yourself apart?
Oh, okay.
Especially being associated with like
them.
one of the worst worst.
Yes,
I mean, I know that you said they were good to you, but how do you do it differently? Because I think people need to also understand how a MLM that is built correctly is really not much different from a sales organization
Normal
anywhere
sales
else.
organization. Right.
With like commission. So like, okay, if you go sell for a company, if anything, it might benefit you more if it is set up appropriately.
Right.
So what was something that you made sure that you did with your company that was so different to say, okay, here's how I'm going to do it like more ethically?
Everything was just based on sales. I mean,
well, then that's basically a sales organization.
Literally, I'm like, guys, there's no difference than you selling my clothes and getting a commission rather than working at Nordstrom and getting a commission. Like, it's the same thing.
The only difference is they could
you could recruit people to join also. But once again, no commissions and bonuses were paid on any recruitment. It was solely based on your team's organizational sales. And that's just what we prided ourselves on. So we never sat there and, really had to defend ourselves. We just showed them like, hey guys, if you sell X amount, you get a 50% commission on this. And then if your team does this, you get a 5% commission. Like, it was very straightforward. The compensation
was there an
plan,
investment to join?
It was under $200. When we first started, I will say it was around $1,000.
Okay.
Which was legal and in complete compliance with the FTC. That was I actually hired the best MLM attorney in the United States. His name's Kevin Thompson. I literally found him, and I was like, I will pay whatever you want to make sure that I don't end up like LuLaRoe. And he was like, done. So he put together the most extensive, perfect plan for me that I did. I mean, every T was crossed, every I was dotted.
Because at the end of the day, they do have to have some inventory.
Right. I mean,
so it's like you kind of, so
you
if there's
to.
not an investment, you're still having to buy if you're going to sell the clothes and be responsible for the clothes and it's your business, you still have to invest.
Right. And so what is the difference of doing that or starting a clothing business and investing $5,000 to stock the store? I mean, there's no difference. So we were around 1,100 when we first started, which was in compliance with the FTC. They in 2019 changed it, and it had to be with under, I forget the threshold, but it was under, for the year, you couldn't request someone to spend more than $2,400. So we actually lowered the investment to $200 to start.
Okay.
And that's, we just truly prided ourselves on doing it the right way. It was just sales based. There was zero talk about recruitment. There was zero talk about, commissions based on anything but sales. And I think that's why we attracted the people that we did, because they came from the world where it was based on,
And that's where it's the scammy pyramid shit.
Right. And that exists.
That's what it is when you're just getting counted for the inventory.
Right.
And then the recruitment.
Right. Right. Sorry, my phone's vibrating. Not the microphone though.
We had the conversation that my mics look like vibrators. Okay, we've accepted it. It is what it is. Honestly, it makes me love them more. So,
and for the record, I didn't say it looked like a vibrator.
No, I was like, hey. Everyone's like, they're going to think I'm a perv. So at what point with all this growth and obviously everything, and I think, when people looking from the outside are probably like, why would she stop doing it? And it's everything's going so amazing. At what point were you like, maybe I want to slow it down or not do this anymore?
So we definitely saw a decline, and I feel totally confident and fine saying this because it's the truth, because your business isn't always like this. It's not reality. My business did take off like that though. We started at a very opportune time, I feel like, when everybody was wanting to join these types of, businesses. Then COVID hit. And you had everyone sitting at home doing nothing.
Which for that, yeah.
And I'm like, hey.
And who needs to get dressed?
Right. But I'm like, hey, you want to join my company and sell from your living room, and you don't even need to
buy
have
clothes
the
that you don't get to go anywhere to wear.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just a perfect
storm
combination.
Yeah,
perfect storm. So that was great. Everyone joined. The company literally went like this. And then in about the end of 2022, I started to see a slight decline.
Okay.
Which was very on trend, with what was going on with COVID at the time and how people were going back into the workforce. Yeah. I had, I think at one point, 50 teachers that had decided to not go back during COVID. And were doing Maverick full time. And then I feel like it kind of, after a year and a half, reality sunk in, and those people went back, or they ended up going to different professions.
Yeah.
So then the business started to decline a little bit. I just felt like at that point I had such a responsibility on my shoulders to keep it going. And it became a lot. It was the first time within the business that I was like, wow, this isn't fun anymore. This is kind of scary. And I don't know how to really navigate.
Pressure.
Yeah, it was a lot. And it took its toll on me mentally. It took its toll on my marriage. Yeah. It took its toll on friendships. And I feel like I got to a breaking point. And I was like, I need to make a decision. Is this truly filling my soul? Is this really what I want to do? Do I want to continue to invest and make this something bigger? Or am I ready to say it was a great learning experience that I'm ready to move on?
Something though that I think is probably a big part of why you were successful so fast is I can tell like, you know that you need to invest to see the, like you're a long-term ROI. Like you're not going to try to do everything yourself. You're like, I'm going to find the best attorney. I'm going to find a technology person. I'm going to find this and like set yourself up. And I think so many people avoid doing that because like it's scary.
Right.
It's scary to jump in like that and invest in yourself when you don't know if you're going to get it back.
For sure.
But then at the same time, it's like you did it the right way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's no shortcuts. You know, you can't. There's no shortcuts in life. There's no shortcuts in business. You have to go all in.
And you're going to have to find that person to fix whatever you fucked up.
Right.
And it's going to cost you more in the long run.
Right.
So then how did you switch from that? One, how did you announce like to the team that you did have, like, we're not, you know, doing this anymore? Was that hard for you?
Yeah, it was really hard actually. I'm a very like black or white human, as you can tell. There's zero gray area. So the second I finally came to terms with the fact I was closing, I was like, I have to make the announcement like tomorrow. Like I can't hold this in
because
you know?
As an 8 you feel like you're lying and doing them a disservice. Like you can't even carry that. Yeah.
Like I'd literally be the person like having a conversation. I'd be like, we're closing tomorrow. Like I wouldn't.
That's me. I'm like, sometimes I'm too open.
Yeah. Right.
So then
as we're on a podcast talking about everything.
Tell me about your childhood. What's the worst thing that ever happened to you? Have you committed any crimes? So I'm sure that felt like a relief though. Once you announced it and you knew that it was not in alignment with you anymore. And then at that point, did you already know you wanted to do the boutique, or was that something that came out of it later?
So the space that the boutique is in the shops at Vanderbilt had been my office. I moved out of the garage in 2018, 2019.
So Bezos of you.
Oh my God.
I love it.
No, it really is.
Except you're hotter and not an asshole.
I'm kind of an asshole.
But like a good kind of asshole. He's just a straight up asshole.
Yeah, he is.
Anyways.
So I moved out of the garage, and then 2019, I rented that space as my office.
Okay.
So that space had been my office for photo shoots. I had 2 girls that worked there. We did all like the back end stuff there. I had 1 year left on my lease as of 2023.
Okay.
And I was up in Rhode Island for the summer, and my dad was like, why don't you turn it into a boutique? And I was like, no, like that sounds horrible. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be stuck at a store all day. Like that makes me like, gives me like anxiety to think about that.
I feel
like,
that. Yeah, I get that. You don't, it's in that, the fucking 8 thing. I don't even know how to say it any other way. You don't like to be, one, you don't like authority. You don't want to be confined. I remember even going to school, set times. I had a corporate job, like the set times and having to be, no.
Nope.
So then what? No. So then when did it switch for you? You're like, okay, fine.
So it's funny over the 2019, you know, when I was in there working and whatever, we would literally have people that would like bang on the door to be like, are you open? Can I shop? And I'd be like, no, go away. Like, no, we're not open. Like we're closed to the public. Cause I had all my samples in there.
So they could see.
So they could see all the clothes. So when I was talking to my dad, I was like, I mean, there are people literally banging on the door to get in. I was like, it does. I mean, we live in one of the richest towns in, you know, the United States. I guess it does make sense. I mean, I could give it a shot. He was like, do it. Why not? I was like, okay. So then I got home and I was like, you know, no gray area. I was like, let's do a boutique, and literally built out the boutique in like a month and started promoting it. And we opened our doors. We did have like a little hiccup with like permitting and stuff, but we opened our doors January 1 of 2023, and it was like, game on, let's do this.
How did you feel managing that versus managing?
You know, it's going to sound really bad, and I always would say it to people, and then I'd be like, I'm sorry, that sounds so bad. It just felt like I was playing so small. Like I felt like I like downgraded my like I felt like my business had just like gone. And then it slowed, and then I closed, and then I was like, I'll open a boutique. And like, I just felt so, and I'm not putting down anyone that owns a boutique.
No, I don't know. I didn't take it that way at all.
But I can see where people are like, well, thanks. I have a boutique, and like, I work my ass off. And like, you do, but I just felt like I was playing small.
Do you think because you're more impact driven? So like, did your purpose come more from having the team and making that kind of a large impact over the actual close? So then maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. That was great.
Thank you.
That was great.
Well, because that's me. I'm like, you're like me. So that's how I feel.
Like I see when people would say to me, I'd like use my hands and be like, I just see like big picture.
Yes.
And
But
this is just like so
But this
small.
is what I want to know. And this is what I struggle with is you also seem very like you execute quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I have trouble with when I see so big picture and I'm thinking too much. It's really hard for me to do the little things that add up to that because like I'm seeing so far ahead. Like, how do you kind of keep yourself moving or like through you're like, no,
I don't know.
like,
it's
or
probably
with
like
self-doubt? Is it just a lot of caffeine?
Yes.
Cocaine?
No cocaine. I would be like psychotic.
I could never do cocaine.
Never.
I could have a panic attack just thinking about if I accidentally did cocaine or like if I already take my vitamins? I'm not sure, so I'm not going to take them.
We are the same person. Like I literally freak. My husband's like, you are such a hypochondriac.
I am
psycho
so, yeah.
that you go to the doctor to make sure you're not dying. You get confirmation. The doctor prescribes you antibiotics, but then you talk yourself out of taking the antibiotics.
I don't finish a course of
Never.
shit because I like look at everything and I'm like, does this interact with like, you know, what I'm having for lunch? Like, I think you're fine.
Oh my God. I actually just got goosebumps because you're literally like speaking my mind.
When you meet your soulmate on a podcast, you guys don't even matter anymore. It's just us here now.
But we'd be the most like toxic couple.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
it would be dangerous.
You won't.
I love it though. So then how do you get yourself, like, how do you stay motivated? Like, just to get all these things done constantly?
I don't know. I'm like a weird psycho. Like I literally the other day I was texting my sister-in-law. It was 8:37 in the morning.
Okay.
I was on a 2-mile walk already. I had already took my kids to school, already made breakfast, already did a little laundry, decided I was going to join, which we'll talk about.
Is that you every day?
Yes. Like it's a problem.
I want to be like that.
It's crazy. The only time I'm not like that is like 2 days before my period and I'm like in a fetal position and like crying.
We talked about that on another episode too, like syncing work and your cycle and everything.
Yeah, I learned all about that recently.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, seriously. But so you just think it's like something in you, like you just have that energy.
I've always just been.
It must be nice.
I don't know. I mean, I wish it. I don't know. I mean, I actually think it's like crazy sometimes because I have like such high standards for myself that we're going to get deep, that I have like high standards for every other person in my life.
And are you positive? Like, do you consider yourself like a positive person, like a grateful person?
For sure.
Like you appreciate life.
For sure. Like I don't take like the stuff
I think
for granted.
But I think that's part of the energy too. Like when you genuinely have an appreciation for every day, it's like you just kind of naturally just want to make the most of it. You're not thinking about it too much.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if I slept in till like 10 o'clock and like had no motivation, like what a waste of a beautiful life.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
I could be doing so much stuff. I could be helping people.
Yeah.
I could be like,
but it's such a shift that it's like if you want to focus on things that are bad, there's plenty that you can think about or reasons not to want to get up in the morning.
True.
But it's really just how you look at things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're focusing on the potential and opportunity, and especially as a mom, you know, like I think you get so much more motivated knowing like, okay, if I want to teach them to be themselves and to lead life like this positive way and to do whatever they dream of doing, I need to do that,
right?
Because I can't be a fucking hypocrite, you know.
And they won't even buy it for a second. Like they'll call you.
They
out.
know,
yeah. They see it all.
So then, how did the boutique go? And like, at what point were you like,
amazing? I mean, it honestly went amazing.
Yeah, I feel like I saw you everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. It was good. It brought me. Honestly, I keep saying like, you know, I felt like I was playing so small, but the boutique actually kind of brought me back to life a little bit because when I was doing Maverick, I wasn't really in the community anymore. I wasn't doing charity events. I wasn't doing, you know, girls' nights at the boutique. I wasn't doing, you know, all the things that I do now. Like I wasn't doing that. I was so, you know, big picture. I was traveling all the time. Yeah. So it was good. It brought me back to life, and like the customer base and the support in this community is, I keep saying, it's like unmatched. Like, people are so good here.
They really are.
They really are. And you know, you always get like the people that like, oh, Naples, you know, it's so snobby and blah blah blah.
It's not that. It's not. I mean, you get your one-off people,
right?
But like when you actually interact with them, I think a lot of it is like people just assume. So if someone's more quiet, like, oh, it's a Naples snob, and it's no, like you just gotta talk to them and like, you know, be yourself. Sure. And I feel like I've gotten to know that more lately, and it's been really fun.
And I think it's cool too. Like, it's not just Naples anymore. It's Southwest Florida, which I just think is amazing. Like, I'm in Estero. Like, there's a whole community here that I don't even know about. And like, I look at it as like, God, there's so many people that I could connect with here and stuff like that. So that part really brought me back to life, and it brought me back to a good mindset. It sparked my like fire again to be like, okay, you've got this. Now what? So like 2 months into the boutique, like a psycho, I was like, okay, let's make Maverick a franchise. Let's franchise it. I mean, it's really
That's so fascinating.
I mean, it's really no different than the MLM world.
True.
If you really think about it. Like in my head, I already had 400 franchisee people running out, 400 franchisees out.
Yeah. Franchisers?
Franchisees? Franchise people out there already. So I was like, this can't be that hard. So that was my plan. And then I was going to do my second location at Coconut Point. I was close to signing the lease. And what happened? I had this like outer body experience. And that's another thing we can touch on. I'm like weirdly like intuitive. Like I just Enneagram 8 thing. I just feel things like in my soul.
And when you trust it, that's when things work out. It's when you ignore it that things go to shit. So you felt,
I just was like, don't do this. Don't do it.
do you believe in like, because we're technically like still in retrograde, like the full moon stuff and all that?
All of it.
Me too.
All of it. Literally like the solar eclipse thing. I was like not really feeding that much into it. I was like, I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. And like the second it like was starting, I had like a full blown like meltdown. Like I was crying.
Stop. Oh my God, this is so, I don't give a fuck. Judge me. That night, I felt so nauseous. Like I felt like physically sick. I didn't get sick. And I I just let out so much emotion that like I just felt like sobbing, and I sobbed. That's so fucking weird.
I know. And I wasn't like feeding into it. I was like,
I wasn't but I wasn't either. Like I was like, okay, this is good to know.
Right.
Like I'm curious. But I didn't I now believe in all of it. I don't also like the full moon will like bring your period. Like if you start tracking it, you'll notice that. Like there's some weird shit going on.
There really is.
But if you like lean into it and like use it in your favor, I think it's super cool.
It's like cleansing almost.
Yeah.
And like you're not so hard on yourself. You're not like, oh, I'm literally crazy. You're like, oh, like it's just what's going on.
Yeah.
Someone said to me once, like, how can you not believe in like the full moon and the effect it has on you as a human when the full moon affects the tides
and your body
we're
is
like
mostly water.
99% water.
And the planet
I was
is
like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's
So
crazy,
true.
but there was a full moon in Scorpio.
See?
I told my husband, and I was like, well, yeah, it's because the full moon in Scorpio. He's like, okay,
you're crazy.
sure. And I'm like, I don't care what you think. I'm confident enough in myself now. I believe what I want to believe. But I felt an energy shift because like there's been so much transformation. And like, so I play along with it. And also like what it says about Scorpio is me to a T.
Yep.
So like I'll set my intentions, and I'll make sure to like try to release like any negative thoughts that I have, or like the self-beliefs that are holding me back. And like, okay, how do it also brings that level of self-awareness too. So it's not just like a bunch of woo woo, right? It's like what kind of things can trigger these thoughts so that you can shift them and reframe them and use these things for a positive and understand why you might be feeling, like crying or like letting out emotions. So back to your intuition, you felt like you just felt it in your body.
Yeah, I was like, don't do it. It was like, just don't do it. It's not the smart decision for you. So I didn't do it.
Okay.
And then I backed off the idea of the franchise, and then just continued on. And then my lease was up because I only had a year left, remember, on my lease. Yeah. My lease was up, and they reached out to me, the management company, and they're like, you ready to resign? And the second they said it, I was like, ugh, like, no. And then I made the decision at that point, like, this is obviously not for me anymore. And when I tell customers and I tell friends, they're like, are you okay?
Yeah.
You're killing it. Like, you're doing like what? People were like begging me, and I'm not like patting myself on the back here. People were literally like,
no, pat yourself on the back.
Please stay open.
Built an awesome business.
Please stay open. And I was like, absolutely not. Sorry. Not happening. So that, I mean, it was truly based off not numbers, not responsibility. It was like just vibes.
Vibes. That's what it is though. And I literally went against it, my intuition for so long. And I was depriving myself, and I was doing what I thought I should do. And I joined the corporate fucking bullshit with all the meetings that could have been emails. And at least I get pizza on Fridays, and I can wear jeans.
And I get health insurance.
And I get, because that's what I was supposed to do. But the second I started listening to myself, even, like for consulting or working with women, and you feel that you have to chase after it, even if it doesn't make sense. And I think with our personalities, it's like, you have to trust that first feeling, even though you don't know why the fuck you feel it or what it means, but that's enough. And the more you trust it, the more you the louder the voice is, I think too, it becomes easier to trust yourself.
Yep. And then it evolves. It just continues to evolve, and the right people are put in your life at the right time. Like, I don't know. I mean, not to be weird, but like you and I connected just, on social media randomly. I don't even know how or why or how
and
it
now
happened.
We're best friends and we're the same person.
And
so
now I feel so I'm validated and this person gets me and I get her. And
it's so
this
cool.
is beautiful.
Yeah. And when you're open,
you know what I mean?
But when you're open to it.
Yeah.
And I feel so, again, with the woo, I trust the universe. When you have that trust in the universe too, God, the universe, whatever it is that you believe, that it's working in your favor and not against you.
Yep.
That everything, even if it's negative, and I'm also burnt toast theory, right? If something bad happens, maybe that's because there could have been something worse.
Right.
And that's how I choose to operate. And once you practice it and it just becomes normal, I know the universe has my back. I know, okay, I might not understand it, but I probably don't want to, you know?
And if you think back on your life, all the horrible experiences you've had, and then you think of how you've come out of it or what has transpired since those horrible experiences, how do you look at that and go, this wasn't on purpose? Of course it was.
Also for us that revenge.
I'm like,
no one does it like the universe. No one does it like some good karma. And once you see it, you're you might want to do something, but then you're like, no, this bitch got it. She got it. It might take a few years, but it's going to be better than anything that I could have done myself.
Literally.
So stuff like that, you kind of have that side of you, but you
when
trust
you're confident in who you are and you've done the right thing, and there's no better feeling than knowing in your soul that you have nothing to hide, you've done nothing wrong, you come from a good place, everything else.
Yes, exactly.
Everything else
and
just falls.
owning wherever you're at in your journey. And when you own it, it's not something that people can really judge you on, because you're like, yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
So I love that.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so you decided to sell. How's that going?
So yesterday was officially our last day of I closed the store.
Yeah.
I have until the end of the month. I have roughly spoken to 100 people that want to buy the business.
Okay.
Nothing has been 100%. We've had a couple offers that are not what I considered I would take at all.
Yeah.
I actually had one human that offered me what I wanted, but the conversation was so yucky and made me feel so uncomfortable to hand over something that I've created with my name attached to it to a person like this, that I was like, no, thank you.
No,
no thanks.
No, yeah. No, I get that.
So honestly, the business is still for sale.
Okay.
We have not made a decision yet on what we're doing.
Okay.
It's a very big question mark right now. So the business is still there. It's still available to purchase as the boutique itself. You could change the name if you wanted, but it comes with the entire build out. It comes with the clothing, the inventory, or we could sell the entire business as a whole, as the entity, as Maverick.
Okay.
So,
and how do you feel?
I wish, honestly, I wish I had found a buyer now.
It's a lot harder than you think it is.
very
The whole
hard.
process,
And
too.
not to be cliche, the economy is not the best right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are scared and nervous. No one wants to take a big risk right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have all the emotions. I'm at this point, I don't even really care that much anymore. I know that what I created was great and I'm fine just going out, leaving it and being done. I wish someone kind of though could carry on what I've built and continue.
I mean, it's your legacy, you know? Yeah.
Kind of.
But then with your personality,
I know.
You already know where I'm going. What was I going to say?
You're not doing it right. Don't do it that way, please. Please don't do that.
So is that really the best thing for you?
I knew what you were going to say.
Did you really want to watch that?
I know. Well, that's why I was well, I'm also open to just selling the boutique. You bring your boutique in here. The boutique's gorgeous.
As an add-on, like a bolt-on for a bit,
like
another
a second
clothing
location
business.
or something, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just very much in the air right now. But either way, like I'm at peace with it.
Mm-hmm.
If it pans out that someone takes it over, great. If it just ends here, I'm also good with it. So
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So then what now?
So I haven't announced. This is actually going to be like part of the announcement.
Oh my God. I'm sweating. I'm so excited.
So I'm going to be, I don't have the name yet. I'm
Okay.
back and forth, and I want to trademark it. So I want to make sure like everything's good before I do that. But I'm basically going to be doing personal styling and shopping, and curated, I don't want to say mystery boxes, but like curated style boxes.
Okay.
Based on like your preferences. We also can have like a version of a mystery box where you kind of give me full reign, and it's like you tell me kind of the stuff you like and I put together my own stuff. And it's going to be all based around thrifted and vintage items.
I love that.
So like back when I was like 5 years old, it's just been like part of who I am. Like
Yeah.
I've always loved like the treasure hunt. I've always loved finding unique pieces. I love going into like a garage sale and finding like the one amazing piece. I love going to like Goodwill and finding all the amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And I am so sick of the fast fashion world. Like
Okay.
the Fashion Novas, the Sheins.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a part of it. The stuff that I was
But I think
producing.
it's kind of cool when children make your.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That's terrible. It's like, oh,
with like lead and like, you know, chemicals.
Aw,
Yeah, I love
that's so
that.
cute.
I love that.
Sorry, that's terrible.
It was hysterical. We're definitely getting canceled.
If someone doesn't cancel me for like, I mean, but it can't be something like major. Like I still have a reputation. I still have to live here and like go out and like get my groceries. But like, I kind of want to be like,
Yeah.
like something to come out.
I mean, maybe the
So,
people that attacked me on YouTube could pick you up next. Like,
Ooh,
this, yeah.
okay, yeah.
I'll send it to them.
Where we're fuck. Oh,
So I've just always loved that like
Yes.
world, and I was a part of the fast fashion world. Like I felt the gross consumption and the gross like greediness. You know, like like I said, I was producing 500 of these. Like this fabric cost me, you know, $2.
Yeah.
I'm producing it. I'm making 500 of them. I have, you know, excess sitting there. What do I do with it? It either gets thrown out or donated, or it's just gross. I'm adding to the pollution. I'm adding to this gross consumption world of fast fashion. Plus the quality compared to vintage stuff.
yeah, true.
I literally could close my eyes. I could go into a Goodwill and I could go like this and I could pick out vintage pieces or pieces produced before like 1995. It's just
Really?
wild.
It's that
to me.
different?
It's insane.
Oh my God, will you style me?
Yes. So I'm really excited to like get in touch with like who I am with like my creative style with styling. I'm really excited to get out there and find unique pieces that set me apart from all these other boutiques out there. That's another thing. All these boutiques, and like I love you guys, I love everyone, but like everyone's selling the same shit.
Yeah.
It's all the same. I'm just over it.
But then it kind of, I feel like, becomes more of a popularity contest than actual like clothing, because if
Right.
you're all selling the same stuff,
all the
then it's
same.
like a competition to like, you know, just basically who likes you more.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same. And that's the whole like theory of like the world. Like we're all doing the same shit. It's just how you do it that sets you apart, you know? So I really am excited. It's going to bring me back to like my basics. There's just numerous options I feel like with this. So I'm
excited
very,
for you.
Very excited.
Well, you heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
Fun.
And there'll be more to come too. I'll be posting all about it.
So let's talk about, I mean, how did you grow up? Did you have siblings? Like, are you the oldest?
Of course I am. Come on. I'm the oldest daughter. Let's go.
Oldest daughter. Let's talk about the responsibility, the pressure, the trauma. Let's get it.
God, it's so on trend right now with my life too. I wish I could really talk about all that, but I can't. Yeah, no, I'm the oldest daughter of 4. So actually my dad got remarried to my stepmom when I was like 10 or 11. So I have 2 stepbrother, a stepsister, and then I have a real biological sister.
Okay.
And I'm the oldest of all of us.
Got it.
Grew up with a very, I don't know what the word is, very in control, on top of me father, like very like, you know, was there for everything. Great support system, obviously, but like also standard was set extremely high.
Yeah.
I played competitive sports my whole life, Dean's List, played collegiate softball and field
Competitive
hockey.
sports is a
whole thing.
whole thing.
It was a whole thing. It definitely made me who I am for
Oh,
sure.
the kind of dedication and consistency. I mean, I feel like it's so great, especially as an entrepreneur, but at the same time, like that probably put a lot.
Looking back, I'm like, wow, my life was not normal. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, my birthday's in August, so like I never had like this regular school birthday parties, and like I was always traveling for sports. I never had like a normal birthday party growing up. Like my life was definitely crazy.
Do you resent that at all?
No, because it literally made me who I am.
Yeah,
like
that's the way that's how you have to look at it.
right.
Yeah.
Like would I change a couple things? Maybe, but like
you're now probably changing things for your kids of like, well, I didn't have this, so now they get the birthdays.
100%. Like they always say, the stuff that you wish you had, you go like overboard for your kids.
Yeah.
Like for sure. But I mean, overall, like a very great childhood. Like, I mean, some turmoil and divorces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like overall, great. Grew up in the Northeast, which also I feel like made me who I am.
Yeah, I heard the Florida earlier.
Yeah, people are like, where the hell are you from?
I was like, what? Northeast.
Where the
Yeah.
hell are you from? Because I just feel different than the people down here.
Yeah.
I just feel different.
I get along with a lot of Northeasterners. Like all my friends are, I feel like in my mind, and I was in Georgia for a long time, and a lot of people are all about like, oh, the Southern hospitality, everyone's so nice. No, they're fucking not. Bless your heart, my dick. They're talking shit behind my back. We all know it. I would much rather you be like just who you are, and maybe it's kind of an asshole, and at least I know that you're being real with me at all times.
So true.
Like that, I get along with those kind of people.
Right. And that's very much the Northeast.
Yes. And yes, like personalities. Like I love that personality because you're just who you are.
Right.
And
You're not
I
saying bless
respect,
your
and
heart.
even if I don't agree with you, I respect someone who is just who they are, as long as they're not like directly hurting anyone.
Right.
Like I'd much rather deal with that than
sure.
like the
the Southern thing. I
can't do this.
Yeah,
No.
The bless your heart. I'm like, no, go fuck yourself is what you actually
that's
mean.
what it means.
Like,
I
just say
hate
it.
that so much.
Yeah, no. I grew up like 40 minutes south of Boston. Like I was surrounded by like crazy Italians, crazy Portuguese people, like crazy Catholics. Like everyone's just freaking nuts up there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it also built a tough skin. I mean, I think to deal with the hurdles too of entrepreneurship, it's like, it's just how it is. Like you kind of learn how to take
takes a lot to rattle me.
Yeah.
And maybe rattle, but like it takes a lot to take me down, I guess the word is.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going anywhere. You can do whatever you want. I'm literally not going anywhere.
And that's also your confidence with yourself because you trust yourself.
For sure.
What are your kids like? What are their personalities? You have
They're
two
awesome.
boys, right?
2 boys. So my husband's like the polar opposite of me. He's like Southern and so nice.
What's his Enneagram? Do you know?
He's a 3.
8s and 3s can work. I'm an 8 and my husband's a 3. My God. Stop living my fucking life.
He's a Taurus too, so like we do butt heads and stuff because we're both pretty stubborn. But he is just like the yin to my yang. Like
That's
he
awesome.
calms me. Like I am.
Which isn't, but that's not. So maybe is a Taurus like more calm? I don't know too much about them.
Taurus is more like level-headed, I would say.
Okay, then that's good because 3s can be very like hyper, like they're super productive and like go.
He's
overachiever
very much like that, but he's also like just so chill. Like nothing phases him. Like that actually, it infuriates me, that part though. I'm like, why does it bother you? Like,
especially when it comes to like an injustice.
Yes. I'm like, stick up for me.
Yeah.
Stick up for him. Like, all
Are you the one that says that the food came out wrong?
Oh yeah. Like if I order a drink, he's like, here we fucking go. Here we fucking go.
I got this.
He'll literally apologize to the bartender.
Yes. What the fuck?
Before I order. I'm like.
But we need that. You need that energy, though.
I tip them good. It's
exactly. Yeah, you know what you want. You're paying for it.
Yeah, like
remake my drink, bitch.
Margarita.
Yeah,
I don't want all the sour mix.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. So, and then so your kids. So how old are they?
Kids. Yeah, 10-year-old and 9-year-old boys.
Oh,
I know. Yeah, it was
back to back.
Back to back, baby. Let's go.
How is that on you?
Crazy, but like very on trend. I feel like.
Go big or go home, right? Actually, have 2 kids in 2 years or not at all.
Listen, it was actually my husband's fault 100% because he actually had a vasectomy when I met him. It's a whole nother story. So I actually have 2 stepkids too.
Oh.
When I met him, he was recently separated.
Got it.
Going through a divorce and had 2 kids, a 4 and a 7-year-old. And he told me flat out
I am not getting married again, and I'm not having kids. And,
And you're like, challenge accepted.
wait, 8. You literally just took my words away. Like, that's what I say. I used to say challenge
I
accepted.
say that all the time.
Challenge accepted.
Stop.
And I was like, literally, that was the worst thing you could say to me. Because,
Yeah.
like, now I'm
Exactly.
here for
An
forever.
8, okay, and I always tell my friends, like, I could be walking to do a specific thing on my way to do that thing. And if someone says, hey, could you go ahead and do that thing that I was already going to do? No. Fuck no.
Fuck you. Fuck you, I'm not doing that because you just told me to do it.
Even if it was the good thing to do and it was what's best for me, just because you've even casually mentioned that I should do it, you can go fuck yourself. It's not getting done.
Mike is gonna watch this and be like, "You're not allowed to hang out with her because there's literally 2 of you."
I just love this so much.
Yeah, literally, I said challenge accepted. And 3 years later, we were married. He had a vasectomy reversal. We got pregnant with Cam, my 10-year-old, and then literally, like, 9 months, 10 months later, I got pregnant with my other one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, "You're an ass." Like, you knew what you were just doing, and I was not ready.
Then did he? I mean, this might be too much, but then did he get it again after? Okay.
Yeah, poor guy. Poor guy, real sensitive.
Good.
down
It's
there.
about time a man does something physically for
He's like done it
the
all.
good
Like,
of
it's
yeah.
it's like his 3rd time, like in and out.
Good.
in and out.
Yeah. See, guys, it's not that fucking hard.
No, it's really not.
It's not that fucking hard.
A
What is it? 5
vasectomy
minutes?
is
Yeah.
like the easiest.
What is it, like 5 minutes? You're in there and it's like,
tiny. It's like nothing. The reversal was 5 hours. It was like an intense thing. So like,
okay.
I
So
love
then a
him
little
for
credit,
that.
a little credit there.
well, the reversal.
That's a big, okay.
Yeah,
That's,
that was a huge thing.
still not a C-section, but we're not gonna keep score
I had
here.
the second time.
You did?
The first one, my doctor, literally as he was pulling him out of me, was like, "You will never again have a baby through your vagina. Like, you are going
Why?
to."
Why?
I mean, this is like such TMI, but like,
Hey, get it. Do it for the views. Let's
apparently
talk about
I'm,
your
like,
vagina.
very small down there, and like, just he wasn't coming out. I like, had to get like 48 stitches. It just was like bad. I was in labor for like 24 hours. It was just horrible. But I was like, no epidural. I'm doing this natural. Let's fucking go. Like,
And then you're like, give me the fucking drugs.
give me the fucking drugs now.
But
But
oh my
it was
God,
just,
that's traumatizing.
it was just crazy.
Yeah. So then the second was planned.
So then the second one was 10 pounds. Thank God.
Thank God it was a C-section.
Fucking God. We did a C-section because he was 10 pounds and I would have died.
Yeah, and you're a small person.
yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah,
a
10
giant
pounds.
baby.
He came out looking like a legit 3-month-old. I was like, what the hell? Like, what? How did that just happen?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And how was the C-section? Like, how was that process for you?
Didn't love it.
Yeah.
Like, you walk, it's kind of like a weird out of
It
body.
is. It's really
They're
weird.
like, walk in. I'm like, okay. And I walk in and then.
And they act like you're crazy, that you're like a little scared.
yeah.
I'm
Like,
like-
everything's going to be fine. No,
like-
you're not. I'm like, you're walking into like a surgical room. Like, everything's normal.
And everything's like bright white, and there's just that table. It's like it's very weird.
And then you can't feel anything.
I don't like that either.
And then they're like moving your body like this, but you can't
so you feel the
anything.
pressure, and then they lift the baby out, and it's like, do you remember the weight? Like, you feel the weight off of you, but it's not pain. It's just like you feel this, like someone was
Like
sitting on
pressure,
you, and then
it
they
comes
get
off. Yeah. And then I
makes
really
me
don't
throw
remember
up
anything
just
else.
thinking about
Yeah,
it.
was
Honestly,
gross.
it was
It was just bad.
it was disgusting.
The whole thing was bad. And then the recovery, that was weird. Like, you feel like your intestines are just like moving around in your body. That was weird. And I had a 1-year-old at the time too.
Oh
so-
my God, yeah. So then you probably couldn't even like pick him up, really,
No.
or yeah.
And I was breastfeeding. Like, I didn't stop breastfeeding. Like, I literally was breastfeeding my entire pregnancy. I stopped
Oh my
like a
God.
month before. Thank God. I got like a month break and then started breastfeeding again. It was just crazy.
That's so much, yeah.
It was a lot. But luckily I didn't have like any weird, like no postpartum depression, no like anything. Like, I was actually pretty like level, which is
Yeah.
kind of weird for me. I feel like I would have been a little crazy, but I was pretty good.
Maybe that actually just like leveled you like hormonally, and then you just went back to psycho.
Something happened because I was actually surprised. I was like, wow, I handled that pretty well.
No, that's
Yeah, it was
I
weird.
definitely I was full on psycho.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Like with like postpartum?
I had postpartum the first time around. Well, the postpartum with my second, I didn't really have it. I think because I knew what to expect. The pregnancy, though, the second time, I compared to Chinese water torture because it was like, it wasn't like a bunch of big things. It was like a lot of little things every single fucking day.
So you didn't like being
So
pregnant?
it was like, The second time, no.
First time you did though?
First time, I think because personally, I feel like because it was a boy,
Right.
it balanced me out. I felt very calm. Everyone was like, you seem like happier and calm. Like, because I'm not a very calm, I'm like hyperactive. And I think it helped me. But then the second time with a girl, I don't know if it's the estrogen or what, I was a raging bitch.
Huh.
And then on top of it, I had horrible like pregnancy allergies and sinusitis, like rhinitis. I mean, like where I felt like I couldn't talk even because I couldn't breathe through my nose. And then it was like pelvic pain, all these crazy little things over and over and over and over and over and over for like 9 months. So by the end of it, I was just like ready to, I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
That's the crazy. I never thought about like the boy balancing you out.
I feel like it did though.
I mean,
like with the hormone. Yeah.
I had 2 boys, and like I said, like I feel like I was like very like
Chill.
normal.
Maybe it's, because we're the same person. So we had,
just very normal. Like I remember all my friends like freaking out, and I was like, everything's good. Like I'm not sleeping, but like everything's fine.
The not sleeping. The second time
crazy.
around, that was rough too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely was rough. But my boys are great. My 10-year-old is literally like my husband.
Yeah.
And he's just like the biggest, sweetest teddy bear. And Chase, the 9-year-old, he's the one that like, are you going to be a convict? Are you going to be famous?
Well, that's all the firstborn, secondborn, all the TikToks is like firstborn, and then secondborn is like blowing shit up and like setting stuff on fire. Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And like charismatic and really cute and like knows it.
And no fucks.
0 fucks.
Yeah. That's my daughter.
0.
My daughter is 0 fucks.
And is your husband always like, that's you. That's you. That's all you.
And then she looks like me, so it's like there's no getting, I can't be like, no.
You're like,
it's like she's my twin. And she like knows that she's being psycho too. She'll do that face, like the. And then she
How
plays
old is
it cool. She's 3. Yeah, but she's a psychopath. And I was like, she's so cute and sweet. I'm like, no, she's a crackhead. She is a crack. I call her my little crackhead. And then she had this like, I called her, and I also called her like Morgan Wallen for a while because she had her hair looked like a mullet for the longest time. So then like I'd put her in like kind of cowboy like t-shirt and then play like Morgan Wallen because she like, and then she is always like crazy. But when people spend a full day with her, they start off like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. And then they're like, yeah, she is. She actually is kind of like, that's like what I would say. Like, she's kind of like a crackhead. And I'm like, I fucking told you. That's why you listen to me.
I love it. I love it.
But it's so fun.
I know.
And it's fun seeing like those personalities together.
Then like polar opposites,
Yeah.
like just so different. And that's been a hard part for me too, because it's 2 boys. They're so close in age that for so long, like we just viewed them as the same.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah, especially in the beginning, like in early stages when they're both basically babies together. Yeah.
I mean, they had their own separate rooms and they would choose to sleep together in the same bed. Like, I mean, they did everything together.
I love that.
They're still super close and they're really funny. Granted, my oldest almost killed my youngest one last night. Like, literally pushed him into the street. But like, besides that, like they're
almost killed him, but best friends.
literally pushed him into the street and the car honked. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I was at baseball last night. But boys are nuts. Like, boys are nuts.
Like, should I be scared?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. No. Like,
but like, I don't know what should I be more scared of? Like a boy teenager? Like, what are boys?
No, because boys young. They always say boys like are way harder young. Way harder younger because it's like so physical and crazy and
then
nonstop.
easier when they're older,
and then they're
and then
easier
girls
when they're
are
older. And
opposite.
the girls are opposite. And I've witnessed it because I have a stepdaughter, and like, it's like all the emotional stuff that you deal with when they're older and stuff.
But then I'm glad that my girl is the second born.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the way I feel right now, I'm more worried about the boys.
Yeah.
Than worried about her.
Yeah.
Because she'll fucking beat someone up.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm still scared. I think I'm scared too. And I don't know how you feel about this, especially as a business owner, like social media. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that with your kids? Because I feel like it's every year it's younger that they're exposed to all these things. Mm-hmm. And how do you I
mean, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. But also I think I'm 38. So like when.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You look younger than 38.
Thank you. How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm going to do it to you. Better not piss me off.
29.
I love you.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to.
No, I'm 33.
Oh, wow.
We both look young.
Yeah.
Us hot bitches. Everyone's going to have such FOMO listening to this because we're like.
Or they're going to be like, they're fucking
Yeah, turn it off.
Turn it off. Turn
Who are
it off.
these
Kids,
psychopaths?
no one should be listening to this. Don't encourage their behavior.
But social media. So
Yeah, I
you're
hate
saying
it.
like, so you didn't grow up with it as much. Like we didn't.
No. So like when I was in, I think 8th grade, AOL came out. Like AIM.
Yeah.
Do you even know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
I had an name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember your screen name?
I think it was like Britnitz. Because my name was Brittany Granitz. So I
Britnitz. That's
yeah.
actually cute.
What was yours?
XOBeanie02.
Of course it was. It had. See, if it had an XO, then you know you're a psycho. If your AIM username had an XO in it,
For sure. Like, thank God it didn't have like 69 or like, you know, you like hot baby 69. Like half my friends, that was like their shit.
and then like that's how like that was the Facebook post is like you would post your feelings on your AIM status.
Oh yeah, and be like
with
super
like
deep.
the upper and the lowercase. Yeah,
And like the stars and then the squiggly like
Yeah.
a thing. I can't. But like I remember when that came out and it was like, oh my God, like it's so like taboo and so crazy. But like if my parents had not let me have access to that, I would have been like so mad. It like made me who I was. Like I remember being like on the computer talking to like all my friends and like that was like life for me.
Yeah.
And I turned out okay. I mean, granted, there's a lot more shit on the internet now.
Yeah. So how do you approach it with your kids now? I think a big thing with parenting is when you tell them, you know, you trust them and you put that on them. Like, I trust you to make the right decision. Right. I think it gives them more of that like responsibility and like they want
to do the right thing.
So is that how you are more with them?
Yeah. And my kids are really good. And even though they're crazy, they are, I don't want to say timid, but they're more like, they don't want to do the bad thing. They want to do the right thing. Like they're both very much leaders. They're very like protective of their people. Like they do the right thing. So, and we have had that talk. They each have their own iPads and they know, like I'll watch him if they're on YouTube and like something bad comes up, I'll like watch them like quickly go by it. So I do trust them.
They don't have iPhones.
No iPhones. No. And they
Do they have phones?
No. I told them they could get an iPhone at 13, or they could have flip phones. Like I'm fine with you guys having a flip phone. But I know I'm probably going to get hate for this, but like they watch YouTube shorts and like they're boys, so they are different. Like if it was a girl, I feel like the girls, it adds like a level of like, you know, you don't feel great about yourself anymore. You're thinking you need to be like the Kim Kardashians. You need to be that. For boys, it's more like they're watching like stupid, silly shit. I feel like they're immature, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of shaped them a little bit and they're very much like aware of like adult-ish things. I know I'm going to get hate for this. And I don't mean like,
but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
They could sit here with us and have a normal conversation and you'd be like laughing. You'd be like, wow, that's really smart. Like they're not little babies. Like they're very mature humans.
Socially mature.
There we go. There's the word.
Yeah, I get that. I feel the same like even with my son and he's only like he's about to turn 6.
Right.
But I think because I'm like so sarcastic, I don't and like here's the thing. I'm going to hate for this. I didn't fucking play with my kids like, oh, you're a princess or you're this, like the imagination stuff. That's great. But I'm like my personality.
That's not you.
I teach him like to have witty banter.
Yes.
You know, and he's kind of weird and he'll do an accent once in a while. Yeah. So like when he's around other kids his age, he's like, Mom, what are they doing?
Right.
Like,
they look at them like they're babies almost.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's such a good, I feel like I love that he's that way.
Same.
Because he also can now sense a vibe with people.
Oh my God. It's so true.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like I really feel like there's a difference when I see like other kids and I don't know if that's a bad thing, but like they're not exposed to like the ugly evil side. They're listening to, you know, like these college kids or these high school kids playing video games and they're, you know, it's just like,
and if they don't have an awareness that's out there, how are they going to respond to it when they're out in the world?
Right.
Like, how are they going to have the tools to be able to fight that? If all of a sudden, if they've been so sheltered and they're exposed to all this shit, which we're all going to be exposed. It's the fucking
There's
world.
no
It's crazy. It's better to teach them how to respond when it comes up because it's going to come up.
We've also already had the sex talk with my 10-year-old.
Probably I mean, it's better to hear from you than from
the bus, like the stuff on the bus. Oh my God. And like he was coming home and he was saying these like phrases that he would hear on the bus. And I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking. Like he said like, ha ha ha, 69. And I was like,
yeah,
okay.
he found your AIM account. What happened?
Little baby 69. And I was like, do you even know what that means? And he was like, no. And I was like, well, do you want to? Because like you keep saying it and like you need to know that it's not an okay thing to say.
Yeah.
So we had the sex talk with him and I said, you now have a responsibility because you know what's right. You know what's wrong.
Good.
You're not going to be the child that's walking around saying these things anymore. You're not going to be the one telling people what we just told you because that's their parents' responsibility. Yeah. And you're not going to be telling your brother and saying these things around him to expose him to this bad stuff. And he was like, okay. And like that whole like putting the responsibility on them, it really changed it. So
I'm all for that. I think that's the best way to do it because it's like denying that, thinking that you can protect them from hearing this shit. Yeah, that's not, there's no way.
No,
like,
I mean, he could type in what's sex online, and then what's going to come up.
And it's much better he finds out the way that you tell him than, make his own decisions.
Right.
And then, no, I think that's great. And yeah, my kids, I mean, my son has a Gab watch. Which has been really nice, like he'll like be able to call me. And
is that the one you can call like 10 people or something?
Yeah, you can set it up. Yeah. I can track him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give him like a real phone until
they don't need it. I mean, you're like there, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like where is he that he needs to call you?
No, exactly. But yeah, I think with parenting, and I think our personalities too, I think it's very, it doesn't have to be so emotional. It's very
right.
We're very direct with things.
Yep.
Just face it,
Let's just do it.
Let's
just do it the right way.
And did you say you're a Leo? Mm-hmm. So what is that? I don't know much about Leos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So enlighten me.
Well, I'm also a double fire sign. So like it, like your sign, like you can do like.
I didn't know there was a double.
I didn't either. But apparently
you're so crazy that they invented the thing called double fire.
Literally. Actually, one of my customers is like super into it. And she was like, you're definitely a Leo, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, I am.
I want to learn more. Well,
it's like the birth chart thing where you like put in like your time of birth.
Yeah, I've done it.
Place.
So I know like you have your rising and I've kind of learned a little bit, and then your houses.
Yep. So I guess I'm a double fire sign. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, a Leo's just, honestly, I feel like a Leo and an Enneagram 8, like it's like interchangeable. Like I feel like
I feel like that with Scorpio too. Like there's similarities.
Is a Scorpio a fire sign?
Water. Water? I should know that. I know I'm a Scorpio.
I don't know, actually. I feel like I really only know myself for those signs.
It's an eight Leo thing of you to say.
It's very.
Scorpio. Why are the landscapers here? Okay, the people are not going to hear this, hopefully.
Yeah, that's great timing.
Yeah, it's a water sign. Yeah. Which, like, Scorpion, I wouldn't think of water. So, like, whoever came up with that.
Yeah, that is weird. And I definitely would feel like you were a fire. So a Leo, I don't know. I just feel like it's very interchangeable with the Enneagram 8s.
I like that. Yeah. And then, so now that you're starting a new business, I mean, what would you say to someone who maybe feels like you? Because I think a lot of women do, and they feel burnout and they don't want to accept it, or they feel guilt because they've put so much into it, or they feel guilt because they have employees. So they're running it just for the team and not for themselves anymore. What would you tell someone that's going through that similar experience?
I would say you're not doing anyone any favors. You're not doing yourself a favor. You're not doing your team a favor. You're not doing your kids a favor. Whatever the scenario is that you've created in your mind to make you continue doing what you don't feel fulfilled anymore is a lie.
Yeah.
It's not the truth. You have to go back to what is fulfilling you, and you will not be 100% successful until you feel that. Yeah. If something feels off, it will show in some way or another. You will lack something. If you are not 100% fulfilled, it will appear in some way or another.
That's true.
And it's just going to prolong your journey of what you're actually supposed to be doing.
Exactly. And I think, and something that we talked about, I think in one of the last ones, is like we place so much permanence on things, right? Because I chose this, I have to stick with it forever. Because I am in this marriage, I have to be married forever. Because I have this friendship, they're going to be my friend forever. When I think most things in life, people included, are meant to take us from a point to another.
For sure.
So Maverick could have been, as amazing as it was and incredible as it was, it could be the reason, what was supposed to lead you to
something else.
What you're doing now.
Which is what I could have said with LuLaRoe. Like that, I thought that was it for me.
Exactly.
But that led me to Maverick. And they also say that your life is a cycle of sevens. So like every 7 years, you're, what?
Nothing. Talk about it later. Talk about it after I'm recording.
It's a cycle. It's why it's like the 7th inning stretch. Yeah. It's why like the divorce rate after 7 years is so high. You literally physically change, your taste buds change every 7 years. You literally, your DNA in your body changes every 7 years. So for us to think that what we're doing in this very instant is what you should be doing for the rest of your life is detrimental.
I agree.
Change is inevitable and it's good.
Yes.
And exciting.
I love that. And on that note, you got a badass announcement, so everyone can stay tuned for what's to come. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
And I
I'm
just
so
met you,
excited.
and I'm like already like, style me.
Yay!
But thanks so much for being here. I
you for
seriously
having
appreciate
me.
it. It was so fun.
Yeah,
and I
this
can't
was
wait for
awesome.
people to hear it.
Thank you so much.